Good morning. My name is James Spiro, and this is Early on the Spot. I'm joined now with Lior Simon, the general partner at Cyberstarts. Lior, hi.
Hi, James. Great to meet you.
Thank you. So it's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for taking the time. I'd like to start off, please, by asking about Cyberstarts and some of the things that you folks are investing in and why you're here today, please.
Sure. So Cyberstarts, we're an early stage VC that invests in cybersecurity solely. And why am I here? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, hopefully you're here to share some insights today and we can learn about what some of those may look like. How are you finding the investment space today? Obviously, it's very challenging for a lot of the startups that are trying to get funding and grow their companies. But from an investment point of view, what are you looking at? And how are your portfolio companies dealing with some of the tough times that the world's facing?
Yeah. I think it's always been key for us to focus on true significant pains and problems in the markets that resonate across. And I think it's always been our thesis and our way of operation and validating that is the case. Because at the end of the day, the two key pillars that give a company true success, a chance of success, one is an incredible team, and two is solving a real pain. And if you have those two, you have a chance of becoming an important, successful company. Obviously, with a lot of building and execution to do along the way. And I think in today's market, I think it's all the more so important to understand, okay, with the changing economy, with budget cuts, with less human resources and teams selling to where there's less engagement, how do you rise above the noise and continue to solve important problems? And I think listening to the customers is key. And there are always problems to solve, but take the time to understand them deeply before you run and focus and decide what problem that is you're solving. And just as an example, Sierra, one of our portfolio companies in the data security space, that was, it was published last week that they raised a 100 million Series B. When we invested in Yotam and Tamar, the two incredible founders, they didn't have an idea of what they want to go after. And it didn't really matter to us. It was an incredible duo we knew we wanted to work with. We partnered with them, wrote a relatively meaningful seed check of a few $1 million and set out on the journey together and spent time with the market to really understand what is crucial in data security in this large, vague space that can mean many things, and I think, and they raised an incredible Series A from, incredible investors, Sequoia and Excel. And overnight, there were several new players in the space, and it was very competitive. And I think their complete focus on what matters to the market and building for that and building a platform that solves for several needs, I think is what really brought them to the top of that pyramid and now being the leading company in the space.
Well, that sounds amazing. Super inspiring. I'd love to kind of go into business with someone and then suddenly receive hundreds of millions of funding. So what advice would you give to some of the folks here today who are at the early stages of their companies and their careers looking for funding and looking to grow like that? Maybe not necessarily like that, but looking to become big players in the field.
Yeah, I think don't rush to run after trends and buzzwords. It's fluff. And it's not what is going to enable you to build an important company. Focus on what matters. Spend time with the market. Ask great questions. Challenge yourself early on to make sure you're on the right path. And focus. Just focus. Find that one problem that is significant enough from a potentially large market that you can expand into with time, and choose your co-founders extremely wisely, choose your investors wisely nonetheless, because they are partners for that entire journey, whether you like it or not.
It's like a marriage, right?
It's actually even more than a marriage, because there is no getting divorced. That's not an option for you. You can't even, get a special request from the Pope. This is for good. So diligence your investors no less than they do diligence on you, and make sure you feel very comfortable.
Well, it sounds amazing. It sounds like a lot of companies here today hopefully have a long, exciting journey ahead of them. Lior, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you.